What's good, YouTube? And welcome to another throwback in the house. I've been going through my files, and this layout was my first major upgrade where I was like, I'm such a gamer now, and I thought my stream looked so professional. I had 3 sponsors up here, and people were saying, John's race carring out his channel, selling out. That era of YouTube where taking a sponsorship was selling out. Instead of actually working, within community artists, I think Gym Accessories was my first ever sponsor back when they were Gym Playmats, trying to work with unique people coming up in the community and make deals for my audience. Yep, selling out, All gripes aside, let's go ahead and get into today's Market Watch with a couple of topics that I could go on hours about. And the first one is the top power struggle for Power of the Elements, kind of a throwback to Rise of the Duelist, right? Where droplets and talents kept racing and passing each other. Talents would get hyped in the format and pass back, might call Forbidden Droplets the long-term winner. Well, here we have a metagame that is developing where Sprite is very powerful, but Tier Elements is already topping, and we did call that one, right? Well, I'm not a financial advisor and I can't see the future of everything. They haven't taken over the complete pie chart, but they are very powerful, and they are kind of back and forth a bit. But the Shizu stuff comes out in November, and in this market, people look ahead more than they ever have before. Multiple buyouts before, decks even get here to prove themselves, and with Tier Elements already going toe-to-toe, head-to-head, man, it is so close. A couple of dollars different, with the lowest listings being very similar in price and actually less of the Tier Element field spell on the entire market than Sprite Blue. So long-term winner, I do still think, will be the Primeval Planet, but Sprite Blue, people have ban list fears on this one too already. I just don't think the TCG works that way. When you look at the OCG, you get these impressive murder list early hits, so the next product comes out and goes because they're not selling reprint sets. But here in the TCG, Konami's looking at this like, oh yeah, look at them 2023 Megatins. You already know that Konami is interested in our secondary market, and they directly dip in. They short print cards that they know have done well on that market. So they do play it no matter what somebody's arguing to you, like, why is Magician Soul shorted again, huh? You think they just really like that card? So when I look through this, I do see the card that I called the long-term winner acting a lot more up in the market early on, but that's also due to its current success. Also, Ultimate Slayer really trying to cling on towards $50. It is an impressive card. I do think it's pretty cool, but man, the rest of the set is bottoming out for the most part. I do see that Super Poly target is slowly climbing up versus its initial release. Martha coming back down as Exo Sisters aren't really proving themselves overall within this metagame. And then you do have that hand trap, as it's called, but it's like reverse hand trap. It's doing decent on the market for what it is. Here in the TCG, it was super loved by the OCG, but also has come back down in price over time. Now, for Merch It Watch. People are thinking I'm saying Merchant Watch, which I do get. They're very similar, but I'm trying to make a play on Market Watch. Maybe I should have something flash on screen that spells it out, but Tapio Cards Field Centers came in from production, and it looks so much better for the glam than the Pendulum Mommy. I was looking at this and it looked kind of brown, but I figured it was gold, says gold metallic, and oh my gosh, when the light hits it, it looks so much better. Over on Tapio Cards, What's Good 5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly will work on their entire site, and they have a huge line of field centers that I really like. And hey, that Trap Tricks deck also being announced. Might want to pick up their limited Trap Tricks field center sooner than later. And for that curveball code, What's Good 10 for 10% off over on Millennium Threads. Their sales have over doubled since we've started working with them, and I do think the hoodies, even though we're in the heat of summer, are the way better value. They're around $60 and they are hand embroidered, and that's pretty good. And I don't think they charge up on, the big boy sizing at all. Yeah, they don't. So again, for code What's Good 10, that's going to knock these down to $54 on hand embroidered hoodies, and I really do like how they did the Golden Lord in the resting really cool pose. Now, for some techs that are selling out / other interesting cards, we have Curious going up in price. This has been a long-term penny stonk on the channel, and it's because it didn't have a reprint, and it also is just such an insane combo piece, and multiple people are now playing it within this current format, and you see it spiking up rapidly, and the lowest are now around $4, where you could have gotten it for around $1-ish before. Yeah, I don't understand how this one gets slept on so much. I get that the combos can be complicated and also specific materials, but man, it's just such a good card, and it had this coming for a long time. Mirror of Oath Super Rare is up, and this isn't for past format glads or anything weird. This card reads, when your opponent special summons a monster or monsters from their main deck, destroy that monster or monsters, and if you do, draw a card. Notice no once per turn or any kind of clause like that on the card, but it is a decent-ish tech, and I don't know. I don't really see it like versus all the floodgate like cards you could play being really worth that super up juiced price. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Is it just a game stealer when you're using it, or would you rather like throw a DD Crow or a turn long lingering floodgate? How would you be playing versus this, and would you actually be teching it? And if you are playing it, let me know in what down below. Elemental Hero Glow Neos has a lot of downed quantities and somewhat recent sales. I haven't looked at the newer Neos decks past the fun cheese stuff we've already covered, so let me know if Glow Neos is actually seeing some crazy play. But yeah, down in quantities, up in price, there he goes. Nemesis Keystone is also up in price over time. I didn't really see those initial spikes happen months ago, but it only has one printing out of the popular set, Rise of the Duelist. Let me know what you guys think about this and what it is being played in. Toon Chaos is getting looked up again. It's going baby bumping up in price, but a lot of down quantities on those collector rares, as collector rare conversations have been more looked at, especially with the ones that just came out, like Drollin, Lockbird, big names, right? Anti-Spell Fragrance. So people are looking back at that original set and kind of targeting things within here. Be aware that that is what's happening. Also, my Discord pointed out this one has come down in price over time, and it's kind of a nice time to get it. The ultra rare pretty cheap in price, and the secret rare back down under 20 towards $16-17. That's pretty cool for Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. Now, if you're on a budget, just get the ultra rare around $3 instead of spending all the way to $18. But I feel like Dragon Link, and most recently also the Punk Engine was playing this a bit. You want to look at cards like these that are in fan favorite decks that will get eaten up off the market when people buy back in. They're like, oh, Dragon Link's good again? I'm back, baby. You know, French nationals and that kind of stuff probably played into it, but definitely a card with just a ton of potential that will probably see its time in the game again and again and again, and be able to spike like that over time, depending on what other rarity printings and where it is printed. And my final conversation today that I've been wanting to get to is around sealed and PSA cards. I was talking to Ruxin because I noticed, and I was like, is it just me, or is the market really bottoming out on these? And on anything that isn't a 10, it really is. You might have a sticker shock initially on a first edition MFC PSA 9 Dark Magician Girl being around $2,500, but I remember where the lowest for sales were like 4Ks on these, and then also look at the only PSA 10, just ridiculous leagues above. That's why my general advice with these has always been, if it isn't a 10, I personally wouldn't be messing with it. Again, while I'm not a financial advisor, and these are some big boy bucks, I just really don't like the concept of slabs. You're putting a collectible to where it cannot be played, and I get that it is, for all intents and purposes, at this point, a collectible, unless you're playing a max rarity Dark Magician deck in your Team Samurai X1. But yeah, I get the appeal of having a near mint in a slab, but the 9s just are nowhere close to 10s. And at this point, when you're talking about listings of 10x different in values for that jump, it's crazy. Also, like, look at this. This is one I've been watching for a long time. The ultimate rare Blue Eyes from Japan. The new secret rares are coming in 10s a lot. And then you look at the PSA, version versus like this it's such a crazy price jump. The 6.9, not so nice. Around $7,000 is the lowest listed 10 on the ulti versus the lowest 9 being 2,500-ish. Just what a crazy jump from 9 to 10. And it's always sort of been that way, but it definitely did get a bigger jump. So what's happening here and why are they coming down? Well, first off, crypto took a big hit throughout the year, and crypto was a lot of money that was being funneled into the card system. Second off, a lot of people who were on that hype from the Pokemon boom looked to dive into other card games and came in blind. And whenever you're going into community blind, you're often very much overspending into any new hobby and being led down probably not the best of rabbit holes by people interested in getting you to spend your money. So you had a lot of novice investors coming in, and then you also had graded getting bottlenecked and chokeholded on being able to actually grade to where they even shut down taking submissions, and now you have the submissions open, you have budget grading options and all these other things back, so you have a upsupply of graded cards and tons of novice people getting their cards graded, which are going to come in under 10s, and then just so an up supply and a lower demand from those people who have already come in, already bought, already want to kind of see what their investment's going to do, and it is getting a lot less than they thought it would. Sealed is somewhat similar, but not down as bad in terms of a ton of people came in, they wanted to age. Long term means like 5 years, a decade plus, but people are already trying to flip within a year to 2 years, and it's getting really crowded over here. So that's what's happening even with top end PSA cards. Anything that's not a 10 is just kind of bottoming out right now versus where it was at, to the point of, I remember people, I think, selling first ed loose DMGs at one point around like 1,200, 1,600, something crazy, when it looked like it could be a 10 out, and now you're seeing like a lot of the collectible market already cooled out, and now it's Time Wizard format hyping a lot of the prices that are climbing back up. I feel like Time Wizard format's overhyped. Now you have the EU GOAT format event that's allowing Cyber Dragon, so that's going kind of terribly. If you haven't noticed, over at the side events for EU, what would be their nationals or their WCQ, they have a attempted GOAT format, but they allowed CRV in it. Anyways, that all points aside, Time Wizard is really overhyping some collectible cards on the market, but stuff like the secret rares that were getting $200+ that were way overjuiced, that weren't even all that crazy collectible, have come down a bit in price, unless future support has been there or Time Wizard format has helped it. A lot of the collectible market has been taking a breath too, and I say to that, good. It was overinflated, and if you're losing money on that, sorry for saying the message is good, but realistically, this is it coming back down to earth and orbit to where it's more realistic, and this is the route it should more be around, where it's still up from before due to price, memory, and multiple bubbles being popped, still resting on another bubble under that, but yeah, it got way too ridiculous for a bit there, and honestly, this is the market correcting itself. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the conversation. Sorry if my pacing's weird at all. Allergies are real bad. And some people said last Market Watch was a little too quiet. I turned my volume up and it was pretty fine to me. But let me know how you think of the volume in the comment section down below. And we'll keep going through a couple of these retro kind of fit things until I get to my actual layout. Thanks for watching, everybody.